Good day, everyone. I hope you're all having a nice weekend. We're having a nice one here in the Northeast, and it looks like today it's going to be sunny and in the 80s, so that is awesome. Today I'm going to be doing an update video for my M1 Finance account. Now, I personally love this account, and I think this type of account is one of the best ways to build long-term wealth in the stock market, and I would recommend it to anyone. If you decide you would like to start one of these accounts, please use my referral link in the description, and we'll both receive the startup bonus. I'll be doing an update to this account once a month, so if you'd like to see the changes I make and track its progress, please subscribe to the channel. And I like to add more to this account when the market is pulling back, so I'll let you know when I do that as well. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Oops, I lied. There is one more ado. I just wanted to take a second before I get into the video to say thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel and for hitting the like button on previous videos. I really appreciate you doing that. And if you are new to the channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like to find undervalued, underappreciated stocks with high growth potential and talk about all other things finance-related as well. Now, if that's something that interests you, please subscribe so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. Okay, here is a screenshot from my last video of approximately a month ago, and the account was valued at $8,900. I made this video during the trading day, so the value bounced around a little bit. But the money-weighted return for the account back then was 61%, but the market has pulled back a little, and that return has dipped to 49%. Since the last video, I've made two changes. The first change I made was to add Grow Generation, ticker symbol GRWG, to the portfolio. I wanted some exposure to the MJ space because I think that space will continue to grow for years and years. And I made a video on Grow Generation and why I like them so much. And if you want to see that, I'll link that in the description. And the other change I decided to make was to lower the portfolio percentage on Illumina. Illumina has been underperforming as of late, and I'm not as excited about it as I used to be, so I'm actually considering removing it altogether. But for now, I just lowered it, and I'm going to keep a sharp eye on it and see if it can recover. All right here we have my M1 Finance account homepage, and the account is up to $97.49. The money-weighted return has slipped from 61% on the last video here down to 49%. Did that video approximately 30 days ago, but the market has been trending down for the last month or so, so that is normal. It's nothing for me to be concerned about. As we can see from the performance of the portfolio since its inception, has been a nice, steady climb. But these last 30 days, because the market has been pulling back, my account's been pretty much just going sideways. And if I flip to the monthly view of this chart, you can see that more clearer. But this is definitely what you want to see when you are trying to build wealth in the stock market. You want this nice, clean, tight uptrend channel. And we are going to get pullback, so this is not concerning to me in the least. But if we go to the chart that I have of the S&P 500, had a circle around the day that I made the last video, and as you can see from that level, I put a rectangle around the current price action of the last several weeks, and we've been pulling back. But I happen to think that the S&P 500 is going to be turning in a rounding bottom, and we're going to be headed higher soon. I think we'll be breaking above these moving averages. Let me get this stuff out of the way, maybe. But I think we're going to be breaking above these moving averages and then heading higher. And of course, that is just my opinion. It might not do that at all. We might get some terrible news in the next couple days, and the market could gap down big, negating this pattern that I'm seeing right now. I think that this price action is actually been very bullish, especially in this block right here. The last week, if I go to a 15-minute chart, you can see after it broke to a newer recent low anyway, it looks like we've been grinding out a little bit of a bottom here, and I think it's going to be moving higher. Of course, it looked that way right here. You could argue the same thing, that it was looking like that right in this area, but it broke lower, so that could certainly happen here. But I just happen to think that, judging by how the market has been moving the last few days, I just have a feeling that we're going to be turning this into a rounding bottom. Let me get that out of the way. And we are going to be heading higher. So I think these last few weeks have been a buying opportunity, and I have been adding extra to my M1 account. When the market does pull back, I like to add, especially when the market pulls back greater than 3%, I definitely like to add on those days. So let's go back to the account page here. And I've been adding a little extra. That's probably why the account value has risen as much as it has in the last 30 days, because I've made a few extra contributions. But when the market was pulling back in March, I was making extra contributions as well, and that's what attributed to the better than average gain that I had, because I like to concentrate when the market is going down. When you're in an account where you're dollar cost averaging, you always want to average in more when the market is pulling back. You never know when it's going to bottom, but when it does bottom, a lot of times it tends to bottom rather quickly. So you don't get many opportunities to buy when the market is near a bottom. So you want to just take advantage of it. Like my rule is, when the market's pulling back more than 3%, I add no matter what. And sometimes when the market is pulling back hard for several consecutive weeks, it can pull back. It can have many days of a 3% pullback. So you got to have some cash laying around and not be afraid to take advantage of the opportunity. And back in March, when we were having all those huge down days, let me go back to the. We were having all those huge down days. I was having to put more money in that I was comfortable with, but when you're worried and the market is going down, you just have to take advantage of it. So I'm glad, looking at it in hindsight, I'm very glad that I did that, but it is not apparent when you're down here in this level. Now, typically you're not going to get a bounce up this big, this quickly, but you just never know what's going to happen, so you have to take advantage when the market is down. But let's go back to the account. And one of my holdings that performed the worst for this month, let me see here. That performed the worst was Illumina, like I was talking about earlier. It was down 13% just in the last month. It was a pretty big down day, but Apple was as well, and I am not concerned about Apple in the least. In fact, I've been trying to buy some more of it, so I am very happy with the pullback in Apple. JP Morgan has pulled back. My REITs have pulled back, which that's fine. I want to be accumulating these REITs. I think real estate is going to be a good investment going forward. Interest rates are going to stay low for a while. I think once we get around the corner of this pandemic and that becomes part of the past, I think we're going to see a good bounce up in these REITs. So I want to be accumulating them when the market is down. And the more I can accumulate at these lower levels, the more dividends I'm going to be getting in the future. And AT&T is another one as well that has been underperforming, but they have a great dividend, and they're another stock that I think is going to be performing very well in the future. Carnival Cruise Line, I've been accumulating that. That's probably going to take a little longer than normal for me, but I'm fine with that. I'll be accumulating it a little at a time. Another one that has been pulling back is Disney. Disney, I think, has a very bright future. I'm happy to be accumulating that now that it's lower. I don't know if you guys are familiar with CRISPR Therapeutics, but they are a very exciting new company. I'm probably going to do a video on them soon because I think that they are in a space that is going to be growing very well for the next 10 years or so. Oh, Realty Corp, they are the monthly paying dividend REIT out there, and they've been pulling back quite a bit, and I've been buying some of them as well. Now, let me flip this up and let me show you the best performers. My best performer for the last 30 days has been Snapchat. And Snapchat is a company that I also hold in one of my other accounts. I think this is going to continue to grow. It seems like the younger generations are using this much more than they're using some of the other platforms and some of the other apps out there. So I'm happy to be accumulating that. I was hoping that one was going to pull back some more, but it is performing strong. Now, Uber, I am not as excited about as I used to be because I think Tesla's going to be eating into their market. So I actually lowered my portfolio percentage on them like a couple of months ago. But since Uber has been performing rather well, it's almost double where it's supposed to be. So, and here is my one new company that I added, GRWG, and GRWG is my third best performing company of the last 30 days. It's not up very much. It's a new addition, so I'm happy to be accumulating that. And my ARK ETF. ARK ETF is doing very well, up 5%. Square is up almost 2%. I'm very, very excited about Square. I probably need to do another video on that company. I think that they're probably my second favorite company next to Tesla, and they have been performing very well in this market downturn. I think for good reason, because they just have so much potential ahead of them that people don't want to be selling off their shares right now. And Tesla, actually, with the bounce up it's had in the last couple of days, it has crossed into the positive. It's in the last 30 days by less than 1% on my portfolio, but hey, positive is positive, especially when the market's been pulling back. When it's been pulling back and you are still up for the month on it, you can't argue with that. But that is basically the update on the account for the last 30 days. You can see the money weighted return is down 2.4%, and the overall portfolio value is down $229. But I have earned almost $10 in dividends over the last 30 days, and I am excited to see this number continue to grow up on a monthly basis. The more I get to accumulate these real estate investment trusts that are underperforming the market right now, the higher that number is going to be looking in the future. Now, one thing I wanted to show you guys, I figured maybe by my next video I would be there, but because the market has been pulling back, I am not there quite yet. I have the ability to borrow from my M1 Finance account once it gets over $10,000. Now, what I want to do is I want to take a small loan from that because I'm actually curious exactly how it works. But I'm going to take a small loan once I get over $10,000, and I'm going to do a video on that to show you guys how M1 Borrow works in case you guys are not familiar with it. If you're like me, if you haven't used it before and you want to see what it's all about and how it works, I'm going to take a little loan out and show you guys how cool it is. I think it's going to be something that's I'm really going to enjoy. It's going to give my finances a little bit of flexibility, and it never hurts to have more flexibility in your finances when you need money. So there you have it, folks. But like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for that M1 Borrow. I guess it's going to be kind of like a tutorial. I don't know. I'm just going to show you how it works, and I think that could be something that is going to be very valuable for my finances. Because if I ever need money out of this account and I don't want to sell any stock, say I don't want to sell any stock and have to pay taxes on a gain, I could borrow from the portfolio and pay it back to myself with just a little bit of interest, and I think that would be a much better way to get money on the fly if I need it. And I'll also be able to borrow from this account and use margin to buy stocks when there's a better deal. If I don't have the cash that day to send to my M1 to take advantage of a great deal, I'll be able to take advantage of it using M1 borrow. But all right, folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'll be doing an update on this account every 30 days or so, so hopefully we'll be able to see some very nice portfolio gains. And if you guys have any questions about M1 Finance, leave it down there in the comments. This account is kind of new to me, so I'm not super familiar with it, but I do know some about it, and I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But I guess I will end the video right there. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.